Hi, my name is Antti Komulainen. I'm a specialist on data analytics at Raute, and I was thinking to talk a little bit about the exact moment what separates wood being wood and being veneer. This takes place at lathe. When we think of data-driven veneer production, a lot comes to scanning the incoming logs numerous times. Last time the round wood is being scanned is just before peeling as a peeler block. After that, several veneer analyzers take care of the rest of the process. So it's either scanning the round wood or scanning the veneer, where we get tons of data. What about the actual peeling itself? Let's jump to a couple examples in a moment. Before that, few words about veneer quality. Here we must define the wording. We can be talking about veneer quality when it comes to veneer grading. In grading, we define what kind of defects or natural wood properties such as knots we allow to different quality grades. There is also other type of quality which we can speak about as mechanical quality. This is more about dimensions such as thickness or width or squareness of a veneer sheet. In addition to dimensions, we can talk about roughness and waviness of veneer. Mechanical quality is more about the machinery's ability to produce good quality. Nothing's quite as sure as change, and you need to be able to adapt. Luckily, there's always something you can do by fine-tuning your veneer making process. Let's imagine we start to notice more veneer splits after drying. With Raute veneer analyzers, we can say exactly how long and wide the splits are. This doesn't necessarily mean the veneer needs to be downgraded, but here as well it's good to understand if there is changes within the acceptable limits. I mentioned earlier I have examples from peeling line. Let's assume the splits in a veneer after drying are not due to abnormal drying conditions. If lathe is not set up properly, we can estimate already at the peeling line that there will be issues with splits after the drying. All parameters on a peeling line are there for a reason. When all the forces applied on the block are adjusted properly, we get the best possible veneer quality. If not, the result may be, for example, a wavy veneer, which then shows as splits or overlaps in the dry veneer. First of all, the peeling knife needs to be sharp, and what makes the little adjustment necessary is the wearing knife. In other words, the wear of the knife needs to be compensated with correct adjustments. You learn by doing, and here the experience matters, but so does data. We at Raute been adding to our data collection system MillSites quite nice things on this area. All the mentioned things starting from block shapes to used peeling parameters and veneer quality, both mechanical and visual, can be tracked more comprehensively than ever. Different mills with different wood species and so on have of course a little bit different practices, but typically peeling knife is changed at least a couple times in a shift. Knives are rotating so that a knife is sent back to grinding after 10 to 15,000 meters of peeled veneer. In a way, the game starts from the beginning after every knife change. Here I find it very interesting what happens on average to all the settings, knife meter by knife meter. I like to visualize it so that we look at different parameters starting from 0 peeled meters towards the knife change. Typical parameter changes are lowest peeling speed in the beginning when the knife tip is super sharp. After a moment, you can hit pedal to the metal. Pitch angle offset needs to be increased to compensate knife wear. At the same time, it's interesting to follow core diameter, which shows if there starts to be any spinouts closer to 10 to 15 kilometers per knife. There are straight away several use cases on this type of data, especially if you have multiple wood species. Testing different knife settings, clear data on what works best, what offsets make possible to peel longer with one knife without compromising on veneer quality, what knife grinding angles and micro bevels should be used. Operator training, easier to share the best practices. It's no more a gut feeling to adjust the machine, but clear guidelines what and within what limits to adjust at certain knife meters. Testing different knife suppliers. There are a lot of opinions what type of knife works best. Instead of opinions on the knife durability and other factors, it can be tested more accurately by tracking and analyzing the right data. Yet it gets better when you add a little bit more data. When you look at the analyzer and clipper data at peeling line, you get overwhelming amount of data. When you know from each sheath things such as clipping width, temperature, moisture, thickness and waviness, you can have a very comprehensive statistics. Yet when you add the info what part of the ribbon the sheet was from, it's a whole new eye-opening level. Again, illustration starting from 0 meters, this time from the end of the ribbon towards the beginning. Each ribbon is different length due to different block sizes. When we look at the numbers, let's say possible thickness variation, it helps to understand in what phase the peeling was at late when producing that specific piece of veneer. Was it before or after backup rolls landed, or already when peeling is done within the spindles or completely spindle-less? Still, we can add at least one more dimension. The earlier mentioned knife meters. If some mechanical veneer quality issue occurs, for example towards the end of the ribbon, it's worth noticing also what's the current knife mileage. From there on, we can analyze and try to rule out if parameters are as they should be for a knife age like that. None of this is easy, but for a long time the adjustments have been made heavily based on experience. Now, in addition, we can have comprehensive data to back up your decisions. Many things can be spotted online and real time, whereas some are for long-term development and fuel for artificial intelligence. Things that cannot be measured online, for example, standardized quality control measurements such as veneer tensile strength, are still benefiting from that lathe area data. When you have that sample veneer you are testing in the laboratory, it helps when you know the exact knife meters and the exact knife settings. This type of data helps enriching the quality control data and finding the optimal quality for your needs. On the other hand, none of this is possible unless the machinery is well maintained and in good condition. Easier said than done to do enough maintenance, but not too much. As well as knife wear is compensated with parameters, same goes for wearing parts. The parameters are simple yet very good thing also for maintenance team to follow because, of course, at some point some parts needs to be replaced. When there is constant quality data available on the side, the correlation and causation is easy to understand. This will result to lower maintenance costs by not over-maintaining and higher profits by not having quality issues due to lack of maintenance. Some of this may sound quite complicated in practice to compare different datasets having some quality control measurements possibly on different platforms, etc. Luckily, much of this is easy to automate these days and you need to have a closer look on the data only when necessary. I hope you found this topic and the examples interesting. If you are not yet measuring your veneer production like this, I strongly encourage you to do so. When you see this type of numbers from your own process, I can guarantee it gets interesting. I'm happy to say that even though we have developed the mill site's data collection very goal-orientedly, we still don't know all the things that's possible to do with the data. Therefore, I urge you to start getting as much data as possible. There can be many low-hanging fruits which you'll find out as soon as you have the right data. But I'm positive the best is yet to come in the near future, and the ones who have rich history data then have the advantage. Looking forward to hear your thoughts on this area. Thank you for listening. Bye bye.